Hello, Oceanside friends. I know that you have all been anxiously awaiting to hear our final decision as to whether or not we would be offering the opportunity for all secondary students to return to school full time. This has been an ongoing debate. I know you are all aware that there are people who feel very strongly that their students, their children need to be in school 5 days a week, and others who are concerned about the realities of what that could imply or mean, especially when it comes to contact tracing or quarantining. Because there was so much to really think through, we did take our time, well over a month, brought a number of people together, including some very important stakeholders. And I would like to let you know what our current thinking and our plan is as we move forward. Let me be clear, as we always do, we started with a number of key guiding principles, and there were just a couple that I would like to highlight. The first, of course, being that as educators, we truly believe that our students need to be in school in person. We also understand the health risks that are potentially involved with that, but overall the mental health of our students, as has been reported by so many people, is at this point so front and center in our decision making. We also felt very strongly that the more we reduce the anxiety about people being in school full time, the more September of 21 will be more relaxed, a more normal return to school for everybody. That's what we're hoping for, and that's what we are planning for. So again, a couple of key guiding principles that we worked with. There are definitely considerations that we focused on in making this decision. The positivity rate, unfortunately, hasn't declined completely, but it has plateaued. Nevertheless, it is clear that the numbers of positive cases we're experiencing now are definitely lower than they were in the middle of the winter. That's not a surprise to anybody. We also are really so thrilled that the success of the vaccine rollout for our educators and our staff has been successful. We are not at 100%, but we're moving close to that on a weekly basis. We also know that as we get closer to the end of the school year, the warmer weather will be our friend for a variety of reasons, the least of which is we will find more opportunity for students to be in outdoor spaces when we have them in our schools. There is constant changing directives and guidelines coming from the CDC as well as the Department of Health. I know many have heard that the CDC has reduced the social distance guidelines to 3 feet. And we are very happy to hear that, and we agree with that. Nevertheless, the need to quarantine if you are less than 6 feet from a positive case is still very much in play, and that is something we do have to be concerned about. As I also promised the community, I did reach out to neighboring districts, some of whom who have had students in since the beginning of the school year, and others who have progressively brought more students back in the last weeks or months. And to a person, each superintendent has reported that yes, they've had to quarantine students, but the actual number of students that they needed to quarantine was significantly lower than what they had projected or anticipated. And we did use that information as part of our decision making. So at the end of the day, it came down to weighing out the risks versus the reward. And through all of that, we felt that parent choice still remained paramount, and we wanted to make sure we kept that in place as well. Again, we reviewed all of the challenges that bringing our students back presented, but I am confident with the plan that we have in place that our middle school and high school administration and staff will make this work. So what do we gain if we bring our students back? In our opinion, we gain more personal time with teachers and support staff on a regular basis. I've heard from so many that they feel that their children are suffering, that they're losing out, and they need that frequent contact. So we certainly would be gaining that, as well as opportunity for students to be with their peers on a more consistent daily basis. We also think that reestablishing routines and time management is really so very important. Not counting the summer or our regular breaks, Our students have not been in school 5 days a week for 39 weeks. We would like to not add to that number. We also believe that returning to a sense of normalcy will help. Of course, we need to keep all of our protective measures in place, but we do believe that the slow and steady movement towards normalcy is something that will help all of our students. And as I mentioned before, mostly we're really also very much of the belief that if we bring students back now, we mitigate any unnecessary anxiety for the fall of 2021. So what is the plan? The journey back. We'd like to think of this as looking at quality of time rather than quantity of time. So we do have a staggered progressive plan that will be posted as part of this presentation. Please look at it. I don't want to announce the dates verbally because it's too much to remember, but all of the dates will be available immediately as part and subsequent to this video presentation. So please take a look at it because we do have a plan in place to stagger our return of our secondary students beginning as early as April 12th for some. I will also say to you that you'll be hearing more specifically from both Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Glickman-Rogers about the specifics for their buildings. And finally, back to parent choice. You will be receiving a commitment form by email where you will have an opportunity to select either in-person instruction or full remote. If you choose full remote, please know that the student's schedule and their teachers will stay as is, but that the hybrid model is no longer and will no longer be an option. In summary, this is, along with every other decision we've had to make this year, another real tough one. I hope that the community believes that we have done all we could to take as many factors into account, and that we strongly believe that at the end of the day, the risk versus the reward is really clear. And we feel that the reward of having kids in school on a full-time basis certainly outweighs the risk. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for your cooperation. Please enjoy the spring break. Please celebrate with your families in the way that you see fit. Be safe, be well. Looking forward to the spring.